Okay, so we start off from closed guard, his head is down, he gets his posture. He backs away to where my guard goes to open. And now I've got to get ahead of him. He managed to work his way back with good spine posture where I couldn't break him down to where, now at this point, let's go ahead and say where you're square at this. You haven't backed up yet to there. And I've got to grab his head and arm. Whatever arm I grab, I've got to move my hips out to the opposite side and bring this knee inside and pressing outward against his shoulder. Both feet are on his hips. I'm pulling him as I push on him. What this does is it pushes his hips back. It makes his head heavier for him. It makes it harder for him to get good posture and to use this arm. I cannot let him bring this back here. So I've got the arm and I've got the head. I'm keeping this arm forward. I'm pulling. Now I'm not staying here indefinitely. I've got to move from here. I'm setting up sweeps. I'm setting up sort of setting traps. He might walk into a triangle if he pulls this arm back, or if I might put my foot on his bicep and then slide over and get a quick triangle. These are always there, but what we're looking at is a more advanced game on his part where he's able to back away and force me to go to a follow-up position. All right. Now to do this, I'm going to switch to the other side. So I go to this side. I've got his head and his arm, and he eventually does get his hand on my knee. And he presses it and starts to back away. This is my cue. Before he gets that far, actually, before he backs away, I've got to always break this grip and always be pulling forward. I might pull this way to get the wrist and the elbow and then pull him over here to get an arm drag. Or it might be more extreme where just as I'm breaking this free, he's already backing away. So I've got to sit up and I've got to pull this across, pull him in, and scoop my hips off to this side and grab his lat. So when Scott has worked his way back, and I'm in this initial position here, when I feel that he's got his hand back here and I feel he's got a good play on this leg, he can push down on it. I can't raise the leg. He's got his arm straight and it's braced real well. So, and he's back in his hip away. As soon as he does that, I've got to put my foot on the floor and slide my hips that way. And that gives you support from underneath with your hips to raise this, and then I can bring his arm within reach to grab it and sit up and scoot off to the other side. Okay? And at this point, it would be foolish of him to try to pass if he were to use this free arm to tap my knee and try to come around, because he's walking right into my back now. He's giving me the first hook, and he's exposing his back even more. So his priority is to pull that arm free that I'm arm dragging. But just to make the point that anytime in the course of working the guard, he just pushes my knee down. I move my hip in that direction, and then I bring this knee back close to my chest so that my arms and leg can work together. My arms help my leg. When it's back here, my leg is too far away, and it's fighting for itself, and it's losing. But when I bring it back within reach of my arms, then I can be a four-limbed, guard defending grappler, where my arms can help my legs and free them. Because you never let my hand linger on your leg like this, because he's going to get control of it, and that's one wall of my guard that's down. He can pass. All right. Once he is passing, then I have to rely more on movement. All right. I don't have barriers anymore. I got to get away. And this ends up being our staging point for a number of attacks. And the thing I'm going to stress here is that from here, for example, once I'm outside this arm, I can finish him, I can sweep him, and I can do a positional transition. In this case, obviously to his back. I'm going to climb on his back. So we'll get that one out of the way, since it's the most obvious. I've got his lat and I've got his arm. I can't let him pull this arm free. Go ahead and try. Yeah, it's stuck to my chest. All right, and I'm palming his tricep and my elbow's in. It's still holding me up. But I've got his lat too, halfway to his back. So I can do it several ways. I can scoop my hips out, put my hook in and just climb up onto my knee and then set my hook over. I can kick out his knee and he sort of drops and then I climb on top. I can switch from this grip to the wrist, pull on the lat and push on the wrist and slide away. As I'm pushing on this wrist and sliding away, I'm pulling him into my back now. And now I'm not so much on top, but we're beside each other. But he's looking into my choke here, which is really good for me. Because this arm choking when he's on this side means it's very hard for him to get out. All right? It would be very hard for me to choke him with my right arm, although not impossible, but it's hard to set it up because it's easier for him to defend against a right arm choke when he's on my left side like this. Especially as he starts to slide his shoulders to the net and look at this guy. See, very way I can't keep his back to my front to choke him. Okay, so that is getting to his back. But once I'm there again, we'll do the whole thing through. So he got his posture. He opened me up here. I pull him on. I fight for this. I don't let him get his arm. He eventually does. As soon as we're there, I pull this free, and I arm drag, and I scoot up to this side. Now from here, the next thing we're going to do is sweep him. And we're going to look at two sweeps that we've trained recently, and they're both reverse elevators. Using my right leg, I'm going to insert it inside his left leg. So if I need to get room, I can move my hips, insert my foot, and then move my hip back in. But notice I'm still not sitting flat on my butt. That's why I don't really have any lift. Here, I'm on my left hip, and now I'm in a good position to lift him. I'm going to pull him with the lat and the grip on his tricep, and I'm going to kick this leg high in the sky. My left foot is going to stay on the mat, pushing off of the mat. So as I pull him, he's going to go up and over there. And I follow him up. My next priority is to make sure he doesn't just roll away. I mean, I don't mind going to his back from here, but if I've got him on his side, I'd like to go right to this elbow and pull him back to me, and then sit out and get him on his back and really make him work a lot harder to get out. Now, in addition to that elevator, you also have a reverse knee elevator. I've got the arm drag, I've got the lat. I can insert my knee, and I can pull him over me. And there again, I turn my hips, come up to my knees, lock on this arm. I might start to get behind his head. I start to pull him in. It can go a lot of places from there. I might even go right to an arm lock, since his arm is up in the air. Okay, so those two sweeps plug into that, you should recognize. So climbing on his back, two elevator sweeps, and we'll add, just for now, one finish, of which there are many. When you're outside the arm like this, he's so vulnerable, so vulnerable. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take advantage of the fact that he knows he needs to get this arm out. All right? So I'm going to be close to him like this, and I'm going to lock it down on him. All right? I'm holding the lat, holding this arm. As he starts to pull that arm free, I'm going to let my leg go up over his shoulder like this. All right? So as soon as I let go of this, I'm coming under this arm. So he's fighting for that. As soon as he does, I'm there, and I go right to a quick triangle. It's very little movement on my part to set in a very nice tight triangle. He never had time nor space to counter the triangle, because notice his head is down. He's leaning forward. It's really bad for him as far as trying to counter a triangle. So I'm taking advantage of that. I got the arm drag here, I got the lat. I'm going to close up on him. I'm going to let my leg go high up on his shoulder. As soon as I let that go, because it's up to me, I'm going to let this go. He thinks he's getting out. I'm letting him out. I'm immediately going to pull this arm and rotate to a quick triangle. All right? So the setup for triangles and arm locks, where the hips are already right there, it's just a small movement of your leg. And in this case, he's motivated to want to pull his arm out. He's trying to get out of this bad spot. He knows his back is exposed. Well, he's walking into it. He may even know that, but what's he going to do? It's one of those, it's a double bind. That's a form of strategy that I'm putting into play. What is a double bind? Damned if you do, damned if you don't. You give him one or more choices, any of those works out great for you. And to not make the choice, to stay right there, is also bad for him. So that you've really put him on the stove. Okay, let's give that a try.